What did you find out about your spouse only after you got married? Before we got married, I loved how sarcastic she was. After we got married, I realized she wasn't sarcastic at all, just mean. We're still happily married, though. Ain't that just the way it is? Perspective is a hell of a thing. That she leaves 1 second on the microwave every time because she doesn't want it to beep? That is assuredly undiagnosed autism right there. And low-key kinda cute. He hates grocery shopping. Would rather clean the toilet than pick up more than 2 things at the grocery store. It kind of works, though, because I hate cleaning the bathroom. Personally, I like going to the shops. I just like being sent off to do things outside. I would probably be very happy being a courier. 2 months after our wedding, just after we mailed all the thank you cards to our guests, she calmly suggested an idea about our honeymoon, which was another 2 months away. Let's go as friends. What she really meant was, let's get divorced. She genuinely believes her life is meant to be a tragedy, a belief that I couldn't help her shake off. We did manage to go on the honeymoon as a couple, but we filed for divorce within half a year. I hope she's okay. I'm having a blasty blast. That is probably unchecked bipolar disorder. Seriously, I understand that maybe a marriage can go off pretty quickly, I suppose, but how the hell do you get married, presumably after knowing each other for at least a number of years and dating for that long too, and just suddenly go after 2 months? Yeah, this isn't working. I don't frickin' know. My wife can speak French. We were on vacation last February in Papeete, Tahiti, French Polynesia. My wife starts talking French to everyone talking French. We've been married 25 years! Oh, I think that'd be a thing where I'd be like, okay, what the hell else are you hiding from me? I thought I was the disorganized, messy one. I was not the disorganized, messy one. That 3/4 of the time he spends in the bathroom is spent on iPad time. For years, I thought he was struggling with digestive issues. Nope, just the Simpsons game. What are we talking here? Does he have some kind of super powerful iPad that can at least run a PS2 emulator and a game of Simpsons Hit and Run? Because yeah, I can understand why he spends 25 minutes in the bathroom on iPad time with that. Or is it that really stupid Simpsons clicker game or some crap, whatever the hell it is? God, I hate mobile games. The only game I actually have on my phone is frickin' Chrono Trigger, and yet I struggle to play that still because I like feedback when I'm doing stuff in a game. He thought the word subtle meant the opposite of what it means. All through dating in the first few years of marriage, 7 years, I just thought he was using it sarcastically. Also, he gets horizontal and vertical confused, as in he falls down on the bed after a long day and says, it's so nice to finally be vertical. He has a nice butt though, so it evens out. That twins run in her family, both sides. Found out during an ultrasound when they said there are 2 babies in there. He's very much like a llama. Upset him at just the right time and he'll completely lose his appetite and refuse to eat for a while. I could never bring myself to upset this person. I think to ruin someone's appetite is truly a great offense. If someone upset me so badly that it ruined my appetite or just put me off my food, especially if it was something I was really looking forward to, I might throw hands. That he has more PTSD from his ex-wife than he does from combat deployments. I literally only discovered this the moment we were married, that he has a very romantic side. All the time we were together before, I probably would have said I would have liked a little more traditional romance, but I appreciated how straightforward and pragmatic he was about other things and thought I can't have it both ways. I could add that he is a theoretical physicist who works with engineers and he has the personality to match. He always said he thought marriage was essentially meaningless. Eventually, for external reasons, we decided to do it. I proposed to him, by the way, with a new watch. We threw together a cheap little ceremony in a few weeks to get it over with, as we both put it. He put on his suit, I put on my pretty dress. We had the officiant there that I found on Yelp 2 weeks before and got started. However, when it came time for the vows and the ring exchange, I suddenly found myself facing a very sentimental man who was clearly deeply in love with me and overjoyed to be marrying me. After that, the same man who took years to feel comfortable holding my hand in public for even 5 minutes was hugging and kissing me in front of everyone at every moment he could during the ceremony. Then he wanted to celebrate every week-iversary, then every month-iversary, with romantic dinners and having the same cake we had at our wedding. He starts celebrating at 12:01 a.m. on our anniversaries. He gazes lovingly at his wedding ring and always wants me to do the Wonder Twins thing with him by clicking our rings together. Who'da thunk it? That is legitimately so sweet, and I hope that this couple is together still and very, very, very happy. That Rice Krispie treats are his favorite baked good. He had never so much as mentioned them before to me. 2 years married and suddenly this bombshell out of the blue. But seriously, after we got married, I realized that he wasn't as calm as he seemed. He can actually get very anxious, like a normal human being, and if he doesn't do something active for a few days, work out, run, etc., he gets hyper like a 3-year-old on a sugar high, manic, can't sit still, loud singing. It's quite something to behold. That sounds like undiagnosed ADHD. I should know, I am diagnosed with ADHD. And now you know why I go on so many tangents. I just asked my wife this question and she told me it was the wart thing on the shaft of my pecker. I wasn't aware that I had a wart thing on my pecker, so I ran to the bathroom to check, only for her to arrive while I'm tugging away at the skin to laugh at me for being so gullible. Not gonna lie, she sounds like a keeper. My ex thought penguins were about 6 feet tall. After dating for 7 years and well establishing that I like to sleep in when I don't have plans, we got married. Suddenly, I don't know why, apparently, we had a bedtime. And in the morning, it was suddenly time for us to get up. Had to have a stern conversation with my morning person husband about that real quick. If there's stuff we have to do, yeah, sure. But if it's a lazy Sunday, leave me alone and go play video games alone. My reaction to that would probably be, duly noted, my darling, and acknowledged. That he supported his buddy's family financially while his buddy spent a year in federal prison, not England, as everyone else was told. My husband kept his buddy's employment open by doing his buddy's job as well as his own job during that year. Another one was that we were married about 3 years before I found out he had once given his cousin a stack of signed blank checks because she was a single mom and struggling to pay her bills. Your husband sounds both generous and also very, very loyal. My wife can make balloon animals, and I never knew it. One day we were sitting at home with the kids, and after I brought home the wrong type of balloons out of nowhere, she twists up a dog. Then a monkey. If I discovered this about my spouse, I would be bringing them balloons a lot. I would be like, darling, you sit down. Don't bother doing the dishes. Don't bother cooking even. I'll take care of all of it. If I discovered this about my spouse, it would just be like, darling, I will take care of all the chores. I need you to sit down and twist me up 200 monkey balloons. My grandpa told my grandma he was Italian. They got married while she was pregnant, and she had not met his family yet. When they did go to meet his parents, they were talking in Ojibwe, a Native American language, and she looked at him and said, that is not Italian. What are they speaking? And that's how my grandma found out that she was married to an Indian, not an Italian. He had never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in his life, and I found this out when we were married for more than 5 years. I made him his first PB&J when he was 30, and he was blown away by how good it was. Darling, you have given me so much in this life, a shoulder to cry on, a son, love, but most of all, that bangin' PB&J sandwich, baby. That he was married before. We've been married for over 10 years. I found out last week that the divorce from his first marriage was never filed, so my marriage to him is not valid. I found out my husband leaves everything open, so every drawer, door, cabinet, etc. that he opens will stay open. He also found out that I'm even clumsier than he thought, and on my way to close one cabinet or drawer, I will definitely hit my head on an open cabinet or trip over a drawer. Now, he only leaves a few cabinets open at a time. Progress. He's literally never cleaned a thing in his life. No idea how to vacuum, clean toilets, or a shower. It was interesting. He's much better now. My wife has a very strong opinion on natural foods, added sugars, preservatives, and organic growing methods. After we got married, I noticed that several staples of my diet were slowly being phased out. The other shoe didn't fully drop until we had kids, at which point everything was evaluated for content before purchase, and many things were just barred from being brought into the house. This isn't a bad thing. I'm healthier than I have ever been in my life, but she didn't show any of the signs of being this crunchy before we got married. Here's the answer, my friend. You see, usually when someone exhibits signs of being a control freak early on in a relationship, it can be a major turnoff. But that is simply my humble opinion. My wife is a sleep talker. I'll go along and speak to her for a while, and she never remembers anything. 2 to 3 times a week. Once she was dreaming that a tornado was bearing down on the house and she was trying to round up pets and children. She was crying and calling out, so I got up and grabbed the corner of the mattress and started lifting and shaking the hell out of the bed, saying, "It's here, it's on us!" She cried and screamed even harder, reaching around for the kids as she slowly came awake and realized what was going on. She threw a book at me and called me a butthole and went back to sleep. Can confirm, I'm a butthole, but damn, it was funny. How shockingly alike we are. We're going on year number 5 together and year number 2.5 married. She and I think so much alike that it's scary, to the point where we say the same things at the same time in the same exact way on a daily basis. If I didn't know for a fact that she wasn't my Earth 11 or Rule 63 counterpart, then I'd be worried. Not after marriage, but after moving in together. I would wake up early for work and tickle one of his feet. He would snatch it back under the cover quickly and then slowly push it back to its spot peeking out from under the blanket. I thought this was a cute game we played whenever I was leaving for work, and I did it every morning for almost 2 years. Then one day after I had moved in, I did it to him while he was awake, and he gave me a confused look and asked, "What are you doing?" I told him I was just trying to play our morning tickle game, and he had absolutely no clue what I was talking about. Turns out he's only ticklish when he's sleeping, and I was unknowingly playing a game alone for almost 2 years. She's right, that is cute. That her butt functions as a low-level foghorn on some mornings. That she was gay. This is significant because I am straight and assumed she was as well. Not after we got married, but after she got pregnant. She used to drown stray cats in a bucket. Yeah, I have custody of our kids now. Anyway, she was pretty normal acting for the most part until I personally think the hormone changes of pregnancy did something to her. She frickin' lost her mind. Living in a mother's state, there was not much I could do about it, unless she actually wanted to have a psyche evaluation. So I stayed with her to protect the kid, then kids, until one day she took the kids and ran off with her lover. Mother's state, still not so much I could do about this. About a year later, I get a call from CPS, essentially saying her and her lover had been torturing the girls ruthlessly and allowing illegal substance abusers to take advantage. She is a sociopath. Remember, kids, sociopaths know how to look and act acceptable, unless something happens. You seriously cannot spot one in the wild. Sometimes, only sometimes, I think we need to bring back asylums. This took a really dark turn. About to celebrate 2 months of marriage, so I'm still part of the newlywed club. My husband and I didn't live together until we got married, and I discovered his sleep talking, which happens almost every night. He's had a full conversation with me, thinking my name was Steve-O, yelled, "2 players now, who's going down?" But my personal favorite is when he rolled over and said, "I just know it's gonna be a happy Halloween soon." The extent to which she thinks farts are funny. She let on that they were humorous before we got married, but now I realize she thinks they're goddamn hilarious. A good fart can always put a smile on her face. I found out that my wife wanted to get fat and sleep with a variety of men and not have a job while I was off trying to support the family. She got dropped like a frickin' hot potato. The sad thing is you would be legitimately surprised how many women would actually like to live that lifestyle. And no, I'm not on my villain arc, I'm not a misogynist, people nowadays, more than any other time in history, just have a proclivity for being lazy and getting immediate pleasure and satisfaction, regardless of gender. Nothing. That's why it took us 7 years to get married. I told her I'm only doing this once, so we better be sure. Happy together since 2000. He has a really hairy taint, like a mustache, but he has relatively sparse body hair everywhere else. We tried to wax it once. Oh my god, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. After the whole Chris Brown, Rihanna story broke, she said, "I don't see what the big deal is. I'd slap you around too if you ever checked my cell phone." Oh my god. My husband is in an army and he usually gets up around 5:30 a.m. He likes to hit his snooze button 3 to 4 times before actually getting up. Yeah, I did not put up with that for long. My wife and I discovered horrifying things about each other, because after we married, we shared the one car. I will drink a coffee that has been out all day. It's normal for me to put a giant jug of iced coffee in the car and then sip from it intermittently for many hours. My wife, it turns out, often feels congested. she'll discreetly hock a gigantic loogie into any discarded coffee cup nearby. I would drive the car in the morning, then we'd switch midday and she'd take it for the afternoon. Then I'd take it back in the evening. Twice I picked up my neglected coffee and took a long draw. The straw is blocked, needed lots of suction, then something icy and slimy slithered into my mouth. We have 2 cars now and I keep them both stocked with tissues at hand. Yeah, I think that'd be the wise choice. Oh god, that... Currently living together, engaged, but anything she does has a mess left. She cooks, the pots and pans stay on the stove, shower, always have her old clothes left in the bathroom, trying to find a specific shirt, you bet your butt there are clothes scattered across the floor. Other than that, everything's perfect. After 5 years of dating, I felt confident I knew everything about my wife. Wrong. That sick, disgusting, vile woman puts ketchup on her macaroni and cheese. Frickin' ketchup does not go on macaroni and cheese! It's nauseating just thinking about it. She's really anal about things and super type A, but is also as lazy as me, so it doesn't actually get done. Also, apparently, she missed the part of our long conversation about adoption when I very clearly stated that I didn't want to adopt babies because I don't like them, and they're in high demand and it's the kids that need us. She recently informed me if we're adopting, we're getting a baby. So that's been great. I was seriously surprised when she told me that evolution was interesting and it made sense, but since it went against her beliefs, she just didn't believe it. Adam and Eve made more sense. Oh, but premarital SX is okay. Hey, if she believes in God and Christianity and all that stuff that much, and yet she's all like whatever about premarital SX, that should be a compliment because she wanted you, boy. I was dating a girl for a while and was someone that I thought I was going to marry. She had a very peculiar view of Christianity. Premarital SX was okay, but she wouldn't go see Bruce Almighty with me because it was sacrilegious. That was like a top 10 weird conversation. What do you mean you can't go watch Bruce Almighty? Why? Okay, I guess. But what clinched it was when she said she didn't believe in dinosaurs. I didn't stick around to figure out that one. He hates kitchen cabinets that are left open. When I found that out, I'd open a few random ones up every day. It took him a while to catch on that I was doing it to annoy him. I'd wait until just before he got home to do it because it annoys me too. Every now and again, if I'm not going to be home when he gets there, I'll leave all the cabinets and drawers open just to let him know I was thinking about him. One day he's gonna go off the rail. His hatred for open drawers will reach the zenith and he will take it out on you. And when that day happens, I hope your legs don't fail you, lady. My sister found out 3 years into her relationship that her husband used to be an NFL wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. She thought he just played beer league football casually with his friends. They were sitting around watching a football game on TV, and he knew really specific details about certain players. She asked him how he knew all this, and he said he was pretty good friends with him. The conversation kept going, and he finally admitted to playing in the NFL with him. His family would never talk about it either. She would be over at his house, and his sister told her that his college games were pretty fun to go to. She never brought up that he was the star wide receiver playing in front of 70,000 people. That he has an infuriating habit of throwing things away that shouldn't be thrown away. He is an extremely clean person, and I love that about him, but he takes it overboard. For example, we will have half a tub of butter and see another tub at the store that's on sale for a decent price. So we will buy the butter that's on sale. Well, instead of using up the half tub of butter at home, he will just throw it away and open the new one. He does this not just with butter, but with every single food item you can think of. He also throws away things that in my opinion are very important, but in his opinion are causing clutter, which he gets super anxious about. He has thrown away a DVD collection, our lease, brand new clothes that myself or my kids haven't worn yet, and so in his mind never get worn, blankets, towels, shoes, etc. I try to set up a box for him to throw everything into instead of the garbage, so that way I can pull things out that I actually want and then donate the other things to charity. But that didn't last long. He literally threw the box away because it was in the way. Also learned when we got a dog that he is terrified to scold the dog for any reason or raise his voice around it, because he's convinced the dog won't like him if he does those things, and that thought is devastating to him. Unfortunately, my husband is probably the sweetest, kindest person you could ever hope to meet, so it makes it really hard to stay angry at him for any reason. That sounds annoying as heck. I don't know if I'd be able to put up with that, so good on you for being patient and trying to find solutions to that. But I remember my brother used to throw away spoons and everything whenever he'd have a yogurt, because he'd just leave the spoon in the empty yogurt pot, and then he'd take it downstairs and throw it away with the spoon and all. And because maybe we'd buy like 4 yogurts at a time or something like that for the whole household, it'd be like you wouldn't quite notice that they're going missing until a substantial amount had gone. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories. And if you like Am I the Genius, give Am I the Jerk a shot. Linked in the description below.